Imagine an elite force, 5,000 Roman soldiers trained to perfection, battle-hardened by years of warfare, marching into the mists of northern Britain and never returning. No bodies, no survivors, no records, just silence. This is not a myth. This is the real-life mystery of the 9th Legion, Legio IX Hispana. Once the pride of the Roman Empire, this legion simply vanished from history. Over the centuries, their fate has sparked fiery debates, inspired Hollywood blockbusters, and captivated historians, soldiers, and conspiracy theorists alike. So, what really happened to the 9th? Were they ambushed and slaughtered by barbarian tribes? Quietly reassigned under a different name? Or did they fall victim to something far more secretive, a cover-up, perhaps? Strap in, because today we'll peel back the layers of one of ancient Rome's greatest enigmas. This is the 9th Legion mystery. Did Rome's elite warriors simply disappear? Who were the 9th Legion? To understand the disappearance, we need to first understand the power of the 9th. The Legio IX Hispana, also known as the 9th Spanish Legion, had a long and decorated history. Formed during the late Roman Republic, they fought under Julius Caesar during his brutal campaigns in Gaul. Caesar trusted them. In his writings, he singled them out for their bravery, discipline, and effectiveness. After Caesar's death, the 9th continued to serve the empire with distinction. They fought in Spain, putting down revolts. They crossed the Rhine into Germania. They marched through Gaul, the Balkans, and beyond. By 43 CE, under Emperor Claudius, the Romans invaded Britain, and the 9th was among the first legions to set foot on the island. They built forts, established Roman law, and fought bloody battles with native tribes like the Iceni. They were not just soldiers. They were builders of empire. But what makes this all so eerie is that by 108 CE, after decades of service in Britain, they simply vanish from the records. How can one of the most famous legions in Roman history just disappear? The last mention, the last concrete reference to the 9th Legion comes from around 108 CE. They were stationed in Eboracum, modern-day York. Archaeological evidence shows they built a new stone fortress there, a major Roman stronghold in northern Britain. And then, nothing. There are no mentions of them in Roman military rolls. No records of them being transferred. No accounts of their defeat. No victory parades. No memorials. Silence. Historians begin to speculate, were they sent north to crush a rebellion? Around the time, tensions with the Caledonian tribes were rising in what is now Scotland. These were fierce, unrelenting warriors who despised Roman rule. It's believed the 9th marched north into Caledonia on a punitive expedition. But if they did, they were walking into a land of mist, forest, and hidden enemies. Some think the legion was ambushed and annihilated, their bodies left to rot in the heather, their story lost in the bogs of time. The brutal north. Let's set the scene. Northern Britain in the early 2nd century was a wild, dangerous frontier. Far from the paved roads and marble cities of Rome, this land was ruled by tribal chieftains, warriors who knew every inch of the terrain. To the Romans, this was the edge of the world. The 9th Legion, tough as they were trained for open battle. But in Caledonia, warfare was different. The enemy didn't line up and fight fair. They ambushed supply lines. They attacked in small groups, then vanished into the mist. Historians believe the 9th may have been pulled deeper and deeper into hostile territory. Imagine thick forests where sunlight barely pierces the canopy, marshes that swallow horses whole, jagged hills and freezing rains. The 9th could have been whittled down, night after night. No reinforcements, no escape. Eventually, surrounded, exhausted, outnumbered, they may have made their final stand. But why no record? No report sent back to Rome? That's where this mystery deepens. The cover-up theory. Rome wasn't just a military superpower. It was a master of propaganda. The idea of an entire legion being destroyed, especially by so-called barbarians, would have been a massive embarrassment. It would have shaken confidence in the empire's control of Britain. So, what if the 9th Legion wasn't simply lost, but erased? Some historians suggest the Roman authorities may have covered up the loss. Instead of announcing their defeat, Rome may have quietly removed them from the rolls, pretending they were reassigned or absorbed into another unit. And there's some evidence to support this. Decades later, we find former officers of the 9th turning up elsewhere in postings in the Middle East, Africa, and mainland Europe. Did these survivors carry on in other legions? Or did they escape a doomed campaign and live to tell no one? It wouldn't be the first time in history that a government chose silence over scandal. The evidence. So what hard evidence do we actually have? Fragments, hints, shadows. Archaeologists have discovered Roman artifacts in northern Britain, weapons, armor, and supplies, some of which may belong to the Ninth. But proving it is difficult. Roman legions shared similar gear, and abandoned outposts were often scavenged and reused. A tombstone found in Nijmegen in the Netherlands mentions a soldier from the 9th Legion long after their supposed disappearance in Britain. Could this mean the 9th wasn't destroyed but redeployed? Maybe, but we're missing something vital: documentation. For an empire that kept detailed records of grain shipments, it's suspicious that such a major military event would go completely unmentioned. Some even believe parts of the record were deliberately destroyed or altered to hide a truth the empire couldn't bear to admit. It's like a puzzle with half the pieces missing and no idea what the finished picture is supposed to look like. The pop culture legend. The story of the 9th didn't just vanish. It transformed into legend. In 1954, British author Rosemary Sutcliffe published The Eagle of the Ninth, a novel about a Roman officer who travels beyond Hadrian's Wall to find the lost eagle standard of the 9th Legion and restore his father's honor. It struck a chord. It inspired generations. And in 2011, it was turned into the movie The Eagle, starring Channing Tatum. Of course, the film is fictional, but it reflects the power of this mystery, how a real historical disappearance became a mythic tale of heroism, identity, and redemption. The idea of a proud Roman legion lost in the wilderness, never to return, it taps into something deeper. The fear of being forgotten. The dread of marching into darkness, never to be remembered. And that's what makes the 9th story so compelling. It isn't just about history, it's about humanity. The theories. Let's sum up the theories. Theory 1. Total annihilation. The 9th was wiped out in northern Britain, overwhelmed by guerrilla warfare. Theory 2. Reassignment. They were transferred quietly and continued to serve under a different name. Theory 3. Gradual disbandment. Over time, they were worn down by attrition, with survivors reassigned across the empire. Theory 4. Bureaucratic erasure. Rome erased their fate to avoid humiliation. Each has its strengths. Each leaves questions unanswered. Perhaps the truth lies in a combination. A failed campaign. A shattered legion. A politically motivated silence. But maybe, just maybe, the 9th never disappeared at all. Maybe we just stopped looking in the right places. So, what do you think? Were the 9th Legion heroes who died in battle? Victims of a forgotten war? Or scapegoats of a political machine that valued image over truth? The mystery of the 9th reminds us that history is not just about what we know, but what we've lost. And sometimes, the questions echo louder than the answers. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more historical mysteries, legends, and unsolved stories. And drop a comment below, what's your theory on the fate of the 9th Legion? Until next time, keep questioning the past.